Guys, my name is Oshun the Great. Today I wanted to touch on a very important topic, a topic very close to me. Um, for those of you who don't know, I am a rape survivor, and today I'm going to touch on something that is very, very deep, that needs to be talked about, that nobody, I feel like, ever talks about. Something that actually happened to me that I've been in denial about. Um, and yeah, we're just gonna get right into this video because I need to set myself free and also help others to get through the same trauma, same pain, and same these things like this. So for one, as a disclaimer, rape is not something that only happens in the Black communities, obviously, but I'm touching on it because I am from the hood per se, or a area where I predominantly grew up around Black and Spanish cultures, and so I've met a lot of friends in these in these similar backgrounds who've gone through the same things. It is actually very, very common in the lower. Trying to get my words together. Very common in these these cultural backgrounds, but it does happen in higher classes as well. Um, and with races that of different races as well. But in my culture specifically, I've met a lot of friends, Spanish and Black friends, who've been through a similar predicament. They've been either raped or molested by someone very close to them. And when you think about it, well, in Western culture in general, you have a way higher rate of rape and molestation, and just how women are treated, women and children are treated in this culture very, very badly. You just have a higher rate. Um, Obviously, there's other cultures like Muslim and Islamic cultures who treat women bad as well. But here you have a much higher rate of everything: murder, killing, rape, and everything. But in you just happen to have you have a large rape culture in America, meaning you have a lot of people who dismiss sexual assault and don't take it seriously. You have a lot of people protecting uh, the rapist. But okay, back to the initial thing of this video. Basically, when you think about it, the highest percentage of rape that happens is within family, and it would be that way. The most unreported is within family because one, it's family. No one wants anyone to know, what happened. You got a lot of people who turn the blind eye to what happens in family because who wants to admit that? You have a lot of victims who feel ashamed about being, raped by or molested by family, or people who are deemed trustworthy. When you think about it, it happens a lot with children within these communities because they are vulnerable at the time. And for me, understanding the conditioning of Black cultures, I believe that we are kind of embedded with this sickness or this cycle of sickness because of how we've been treated from slavery days and how we've been taught to hate ourselves and each other. That plays a large part to me. But then you just have people who are just sick and no one talks about it, or everyone covers it up. And in our communities, everyone does act like just white people are crazy and things like that. But we have a huge percentage of sexual deviance in our culture and pedophiles, just like any other race. But no one ever talks about it because maybe it's just not taken seriously, or maybe mental illness isn't a thing that people talk about in our communities. But it is a big deal nonetheless. So this is something that has happened to me in my childhood, and I've been in denial and it happened very brutally from people close to me, and I've been in denial about it for years and years. How it was reacted upon with me was basically, oh, it was never something that should be spoken about. And if I brought it up, it was always dismissed or put aside, um, to the point where I grew up in denial, and I felt crazy. And the people who did it to me are still protected to this day. Um, the reason that I'm speaking upon it is because I want the people who did this to know that they didn't get away, basically with anything at all. That I'm going to be me, who I am, and express what happened, and to help others. Um, but it did happen, with people who were supposed to protect me, who were supposed to love me and care for me, and they just simply failed. Um, Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to get my mind on track with what I'm trying to express in this video. But so for years, I've grown up being in denial, and then in my older adulthood, I ended up actually forgetting all of the details of what happened, because that was my way of coping. And for years of growing up in my adulthood, I started having PTSD and remembering things and trying to suppress it, but it came to a point where I couldn't suppress anything anymore. Um, but when this was something brought to my family's attention, for example, they didn't take it seriously at all. It was something yet again pushed aside. No one cared how I felt, or my mental well-being, or my physical well-being. Nothing. They just pushed it aside, or acted as if it didn't happen. So you have a lot of instances where people don't speak out about these things because it'll be just that no one takes it serious. And not only in the Black communities, but in this community, Western culture in general, women and children, or the people who are considered weak or vulnerable, are just not taken seriously. Um, and people don't want to deal with something as big as rape. They rather act as if it doesn't happen, um, and sweep it under the rug kind of thing. But this is me speaking out towards something that is way, way much more common, and we need to address it and to talk about it, so that we can figure out how to solve it. And this is something I haven't really thought much on, of how we can solve it in a deeper, like, seriously. But obviously, one, we have to talk about it. It exists. There are people hurting right now because it is so common and people are being protected. But I'm here to speak out for those people. It is not your fault if you happen to be one of those people. You're not crazy. You're not insane. Your feelings are valid. And there's deep cycles of this going on. So meaning if it happened to you, chances are it's been a repeat occurrence in your family for years and years. And again, it's something that should be addressed. We should have more people seeking, not afraid to speak up, not afraid to try to get mental help for these people, or whatever the case may be. What else do I want to touch on? But again, it was something that I was in denial about a long time, and I was afraid to speak up because I was scared of the repercussions. But fuck the repercussions. It's something that really needs to be talked about. And yeah, so that some stuff like this has to be talked about so that it can heal. It's nothing that can be just forgotten about, or oh, it never happened, or oh, it was the past, or oh, we learned and grow from it kind of thing. People don't understand that when rape is done to someone, especially someone who is vulnerable, or like, that's just rape in general, is not something that can be held in your body for years and years and years until you're like deathbed kind of shit. And people, that creates a trauma wound, and it creates a lot of mental blocks in your mind and your body and your sexuality. um, you start having trouble with who you trying to express yourself sexually. Even it creates so many problems in your life. Who you date, how you express yourself on a daily basis. It's a really big deal of how comfortable you walk into this world. Even a lot of people end up committing suicide because of this. So why isn't it something that we talk about? Um, but I am going to be the person brave enough to start that conversation, I guess. And I'm aware that a lot of people watching this, they may be afraid to speak up or ask questions, but I'm going to do my best to answer the questions I think you guys need answered. Um, but yeah, you're not alone if you are one of these people who this happened to, and it's not your fault. And you're worthy of self love, true love, and all of that. Um, and if these people are being protected, fuck those people. Like, that's how I feel. Like, fuck what they think. Figure out what you need to live your best life here on out, and how you can heal whatever way is unique to you. Whether you need to distance yourself from those people, whether you need to find a safe haven, whether you need to talk to someone, whether you need to express yourself creatively, or all the above, or if you think a doctor is necessary. Anything you feel intuitively that you need, don't be afraid to go ahead and do that for yourself. But yeah, it's time that we speak up about these things and no longer be afraid. Um, I am not going to say these people's names at this time, just because I feel like it's not the right time or the right thing to do right now. May change, may not, but the whole point is just to acknowledge that it happened to me so that I can be truthful about it and to help those around me to heal. So yeah, be dope, be you unapologetically, you guys. Have a good day. Um, I hope this helps somebody, even one person. But yeah, peace.